Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of the Senate, where they went on vacation. Isn't that nice? Well, isn't that special? My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Monday, August 10, 2026, and this right here, the thing that you are watching, is called the TNAM Daily Show here on the New American Media, because the old American media has failed you. 2 former NBA players have declared themselves eligible for the WNBA draft. This is the way. We will explain. I'll also try to get a little bit of clarity on what's going on with the Senate and the pro forma sessions and, something that's sort of going under the radar is 74 of 84 Trump appointees were bulk approved. There's some nuance to that. It'll take a second to unpack. You're dealing with a whole bunch of legislators, really. A lot of legal profession mumbo jumbo. That's what you're dealing with. Lots of technicalities, lots of rules, lots of procedure. It's a little confusing, but we'll try to break it down. And plus, we'll try to deliver you the most interesting, entertaining, and I got a rough story. I think we got 3 back-to-back commentary takes on our Instagram account. You need to be prepared out there. And we need to be able to have difficult racial conversations that don't always go one way in the media. One way, only one type of story gets any attention, and that's flashing, and it's 24/7 for months on end. I don't really want to see that video 3 times with 3 different commentary takes, but it is what it is. A bit of an epidemic of attacks, seemingly racist attacks on white women across America. It's time we address it, take a look at it, have a conversation about it. Hey, look, that doesn't impact me, does it? It's not a story specifically related to my current positioning in the racial Olympics. The Democrats have really done a number on the country, pushing a racist agenda in a violent narrative, from Charlie Kirk to random attacks on the streets. And now the Democratic Socialists of America, the communists, that's the communist, Marxist, socialist, Islamist, globalist, it's all blended together. They might have conquered the Democrat Party that was polling at about 19% approval rating, probably lower than that, and they're bankrupt and they've had to put up their headquarters for a mortgage to pay for last year. So where does that leave them now? Maybe where they deserve to be, broken, discredited, and they should get absolutely thwomped in the midterms. How many red waves was America cheated out of? I don't know. Well, look, in New Jersey, Mickey Sherrill, she came out. She came out and said, look, we found a couple of things and we fixed it. No. You owned up to 6,600 illegal aliens being on your ballots, which means how many more was it really? Some estimates put that report into the hundreds of thousands. And by the way, my understanding is that was for 1 year. Times 30 years? What is that? That'd be 240,000. What's the race? What are the metrics? How close are a lot of these races? 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, determining the future of the country? what country's left if we don't pass the Save America Act? Well, it wasn't passed. They went on recess. Why? Why in hell is this not happening? Why is Thune, by scheduling pro forma sessions so Trump can't get his last 10 people in, what is the point if not to block the leader of your own party? It doesn't make any sense, except that Congress, Washington, the deep state is still filled with infiltrators, rhinos, globalists. Yeah, just deep staters, really. It's strange times. Yeah, 240,000. If we'd say 6,600, I don't know. Just trying to do some quick math. Call it 300,000 over the past 30 years, maybe. I don't know. We're just guessing. There is so much possibility for phantom voting, and to see the Republicans have the 51 votes they need, but then refuse to do the work and just get it done. Why is Mike Lee not running the Senate? Why is Thune, who was handpicked by McConnell to be the, why can't he be replaced? Doesn't it just take the votes of 5 people to get rid of Thune? If MAGA loses these midterms, either if they do it to themselves by maybe this Iran thing drags on too long and maybe the casualties get too large, or maybe the cost of gasoline is too high and in 3 months that's not able to stabilize in time to provide proper messaging to, look, this was an overdue thing. We didn't create this. We decided to fix this and stop this. The Republicans could sink their own ship in the midterms, having the blowback of a potentially ill-advised military incursion. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's very well advised. Maybe the timing was right. Maybe the mid to long-term repercussions will be great. I don't know. I'm not willing to say there's zero chance of that because of Iraq 20 years ago, 25 years ago, or because of Afghanistan 20 years ago. Yes, smart people warn against getting involved in foreign entanglements. And that's a general rule that applies to U.S. foreign policy everywhere on everything. So it's easy to say that, but will that impact the midterms? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens in the next 2 months, right? But making a conscious decision to not pass the Save America Act, and if the problem is funding, you just pass that big, beautiful bill. You got plenty of extra funding. What would be the problem in hiring locals to make sure every resident gets the opportunity? Anybody who wants to vote can get approached. How about you even fund the passport? And if you need to retrieve the birth certificate from the hospital you were born in or something in the files, why can't we quickly pass that and quickly get that part of the budgeting? And so people like Murkowski can't say, well, there's rural people. They might get disenfranchised. I have to be against it. You say, no. We're going to hire your high school kids to work on the weekends or in the evenings, second jobs. They're going to go to all the hard to reach places. Everybody help them get a birth certificate and a passport, and it's paid for. Where has been the effort? Where has that effort been? Where has been the effort? Do or do not? There is no try. So, hope everybody loves recess today. Everybody hit thumbs up, please, on the show. However you're watching, smash the thumbs up button. Hit the share show button and let people know that the bar is open. I'm Brian, your bartender. We're going to talk about the stories on the screens behind me. You might agree with some. You might disagree with some. We like your comments. We like your questions. We like your jokes. Keep them all coming in chat. Hello to everybody. Patriot Warrior. Arn. It's 14 degrees Canadian. Wait, 14 degrees? 34 degrees American? Wait, what? That's freezing. Rain on the way soon here in Western Alberta. Wait, am I reading that right? 34 degrees Fahrenheit? That's one click above freezing. That rain might be snow. Dina's in the chat. Doesn't make sense. Not that I'm the sharpest knife in the drawer, but Jesus, Joseph and Mary passed the Save America Act. That's what I've been saying. Dina says Trump closed the border, so why can't the Save Act be passed? Something else is going on. It feels devious. And what is this? We don't know if the Facebook feed is showing up. I did engage that. It should be streaming. But thank you for the heads up. Let me check to see. Yeah, it should be there at the top of the screen. But I don't see it. All right. Well, then I might have to take a look and see if it is still activated. No, it's not. It says it's offline. Why can't I put it back online? It won't let me. Well, that's weird. Unable to connect. Well, why wouldn't it be able to connect? Okay. Well, that's another day, another glitch, I suppose. I'm switching over. It says we're live. Oh, okay. It looks like we are live now. Now it says sending data. If someone can confirm. Now it still says unable to connect. But if I'm over here, Trash Panda hasn't had a Facebook notification in a long time. All right, this is our Facebook. Oh, okay, it looks like we are live now. Now it says sending data. If someone can confirm. Now it still says unable to connect. But if I'm over here, all right, it's showing that it's streaming. Thank you for that, everybody. But yes, good morning, everyone in chat. Share the show with a friend. Double check that we're streaming on Facebook. And your friendly reminder that we are a week and a half into August. We need August to be a strong month. Please consider going on Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube and clicking subscribe. You can become a member. I don't know what you call it. You sign up as a monthly supporter. You can do like $1,000 a month, $100 a month, $15 a month, $5 a month, as little as $5 a month. And subscribe to the channel. If you want to drop one-time Rumble rant tips or super chat tips, toss some silver coins into the tip jar. I'm bartending. You know, I'm working off tips here. So if you're having a good time, make it rain. Make it make noise. Make it hail. Toss some silver coins in there. Rumble rant tips or super chat tips. Venmo and Cash App is my name, Brian Engelman, and PayPal fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. Those are all listed as ways to tip your friendly bartender today, so that you can help make this shift a memorable one. Yes, I clock in and I clock out. I work. But it never really stops, because in order to speak eloquently and intelligently on a lot of these issues, it requires there's a lot that anything, a plumber, a mechanic, you know what? Maybe they can diagnose your problem and fix your problem in 20 minutes. You know how many decades it might have taken them 20 years to get the ability to do that. But in between the few hours that we meet each day on the TNAM Daily Show, I'm constantly consuming content to become knowledgeable on as many of the other pertinent issues of the day that I can. Can't be an expert on everything, but I try to distill and decipher some of that stuff for you. So yeah, a ton of time is put into this, and that's probably time that I should be working a full-time other job, of course, but I like this job. But it's just like being in sales, you know. You're commission only, and we only make what we bring in. So please consider subscribing. Please consider tipping your friendly bartender. All the ways to do so are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. All right. Okay, John says now it's working on Facebook. Excellent. But yes, it was not. I switched over to a different, I won't bore you with how we did. I did a few things and it looks like it's connected. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, okay. It was a typo, Arn. 57 degrees here in Western Alberta with rain on the way. Okay, I was going to say, wait a second, because that's almost snow season. I know football's almost here. Just a couple of weeks. Football's back, baby. Oh, and that means Strictly Football should be coming back. Got to figure out exactly what time we'll be bringing back Mike Barra, Jim Mitchell, and myself. Maybe special guests. I don't know. I think Ezrael will be unavailable for this season, but season 3 of Strictly Football coming soon. Final way, if you want to support the channel, we have merch. 4 wooden Ohio-made wooden coaster sets for the Unhappy Hour Sports Show. Set them down in your sports bar at home. Circle in Ohio shaped. And we have pins. Pins are 25. Sets of 4 are 30. Sets of 2 coasters, 2 for 50. Mug, 40. Or if you want all 4, knock $15 off. $100, shipping included. Drop a Venmo along with what merch you want and your address, and I'll send that out to you. Thanks to Sam getting a set of 4. He got one of everything. He dropped that hundo donation, and you got one of everything, and that arrived a couple days ago. Got a picture back. He's like, thanks, bro. Looks great in my collection. I was like, thank you. But that's what it's all about. So, tell you what, we have a lot of stories to get to, so without further delay, buckle up, buttercups. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. Once again, share the show with a friend, text a couple people, send a couple Facebook messages, post it on X, share the show on X. Try to watch us on more than one platform. If you have an extra device sitting there, log in on Kick or Twitch or X or Facebook, Rumble or YouTube. We stream to all these places live. So if you log into a couple of them, that would be fun too. It helps with chat. Hello, B. McCormick. Saying good morning, everyone in Rumble. Yepers. All right. We need 32 followers on our Facebook feed, our Instagram, so that we can stream the show live. If you don't have an Instagram account, please create one. They take 2 minutes to create. I think you can just do it on your desktop if you want. All right, so what is this? I saw this from Millennial Republican's account. Let me look into this. Have you heard this? The claim here is video shows F-16 fighter jets intercepting planes. I'm going to run this through Grok. The violated restricted airspace over Trump National Bedminster in New Jersey, where President Trump is staying. According to NORAD, multiple aircraft have violated the restricted airspace today, prompting fighter jet intercepts. That's the plane? I'm gonna ask.
Get out of here, buddy.
Oh, okay. Watch this one more time while Grok tries to get me some info. I didn't see this reported anywhere, so I take it all as.
Get out of here, buddy.
Yes, it's true. Joey Goomba on X posted this showing small civilian plane as a Cessna, followed escorted by a U.S. fighter jet. NORAD and the 1st Air Force confirmed the F-16 fighter jets intercepted 2 general aviation aircraft that violated a temporary flight restriction over Bedminster, New Jersey, the same day. TFR in place because President Trump at his golf club there for the Live Golf New York tournament. Both planes were safely escorted out of the restricted airspace. Video matches one of those intercepts. Third plane also cleared an alert later, but flying without needing it. Standard procedure when unauthorized aircraft enter presidential TFRs. Nothing indicates anything beyond a routine airspace enforcement action. Pilots are repeatedly reminded to check NOTAM TFRs before flying. Okay. I didn't see that reported anywhere else, and it seemed relevant. Yeah, got to keep our prayers and intentions strong out there for protection over this administration, that they make wise decisions and stay safe. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. So yeah, safety being paramount. All right. Speaking of safety paramount, what's going on here? I want to look at this one. Massive eruption hits Japan's Sakurajima as volcanic activity surges worldwide. Let me see if this is current. Let me get some background on this. What happened to the video? Exaggerated and not accurate, says Grok. One of the world's most active volcanoes has been in a state of near continuous eruption since 1955. It regularly produces explosive eruptions with ash plumes. Notable explosion August 8th. Okay, that did happen. From the Minimadake crater. Drifted west, significant ash fall over parts of Kashogima, reduced visibility, matching the kind of footage often shared in these posts. There's always volcanic activity somewhere on Earth. Dozens of volcanoes are typically erupting at any given time. Nothing indicating an unusual global surge or coordinated crisis. Sensational posts often string together normal activity from multiple volcanoes to create a worldwide emergency narrative. So, Sakurajima is erupting, as it frequently does. There was a stronger than average ash producing event a couple days ago that affected Kagoshima with ash, but it's not sudden massive catastrophe or global alert situation. Okay. Now we know. Now we know. Because there's also something going on with an earthquake in Colombia. Here we go. 7.4 magnitude earthquake hits Colombia. This from CNN. All right. We like to play this game all the time. If you were in the middle of this situation, what do you do? Where do you go? Are you in the best spot right there in the middle of the road? I would say get away from where tubing is, where plumbing is, where sewer lines could be, things that could open up, things that could fail, weak areas that could cave in. If there's sewer lines running, I would not want to be standing directly on top of that. Definitely not by like a manhole cover. I'm sorry, a person hole cover. But you want to definitely be aware, especially with old architecture there. You don't want to be directly at the bottom of where big pieces of a building could break off while it's shimmying. Send a gargoyle from the top of a, what's it called? A parapet? Am I making up words now? Yeah, you don't want like some gargoyle from a Byzantine era church. Is that Byzantine era? I don't know. Renaissance? I don't know. Anyway, you don't want glass shattering, and you don't want big pieces of rock or brick breaking free from the facade and falling down. So yeah, being in the middle of the street, as long as it's not on a sewer line, is probably a decent spot to be. I mean, they are doing a dance here. Look at these people. Oh, look at right there. Look at that. Isn't that this is the first time I'm seeing this. That is exactly what I just said. What appears to be a church, those pieces at the top are crumbling and falling, and they would crush you if you were standing directly underneath. Yeah. Okay, I would be away from these power lines. Do not stand under a power line in an earthquake. Oh, dear God. So peaceful. That church took a smackdown. That was technically from today, August 10th. This posted an hour ago. All right. Prayers to Colombia. Colombia's having some issues down there.
Former NBA.
All right. This right here. Oh, hold on. Let's double check. Hold on. What? You caught a UFO yesterday? Checking the Rumble feed. Small plane flying over heading east. Object caught my eye. I thought it was a bird at first. White colored, small cloud around it. About 12 o'clock in the sky, sped off to the horizon in about 3 seconds. Yeah, mine was it was like a white circular orb type thing in New Mexico, right when I started the New American Media, and it was over the Sangre de Cristos Mountains, and then it was above me by the time I caught it, and then it was gone. I mean, it was so fast. Looked like a small bird shaped, no noise, but the cloud around it moved with it. Interesting. Yep. Take a look to the skies. Take your head out of your cell phone from time to time. All right. So you know what's going on in the WNBA. We're going to get to the attack on Sophie Cunningham and the claims of racism from the attacker. She says she only got ejected from the game because of white privilege. Out of nowhere, she attacks a white player, and then she claims that it's white privilege that got her kicked out of a game for acting like a WWE superstar, clotheslining a player in a very vulnerable position. So, and you've got this anti-Caitlyn Clark movement going in the WNBA. They don't seem to like. It's not a majority white league. Actually, what is the racial demographics? I might have looked this up before. Race demographics of WNBA players. Full breakdown. But the accusations are that the largely African-American WNBA has taken exception to the attention and adulation of Caitlyn Clark. 64% black, 19% white, with some random Hispanics and Latinas mixed in. Okay, yes. The largely black league, 64%, white 19%, other races 10 and 11%, 3 unknown. So yeah. 6-2, 3-1. Sophie Cunningham was drafted to the Indiana Fever to try to be a little bit of an enforcer, to not just let other players tee off on Caitlyn Clark, which is, by the way, it's so weird to see the WNBA's seemingly obvious racism. But golf accepted Tiger Woods. You know why? Because golf was not stupid. WNBA seems to be very stupid. If you have a generational talent who's selling generational levels of tickets and merchandise, you feature that player, you protect that player, you ride that popularity surge to your next collective bargaining agreement, to your next TV deal, to your next season. You definitely don't actively try to sabotage and ruin the careers of Caitlyn Clark and Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham becoming larger than life, by the way. But she's been attacked because she speaks out, along with Riley Gaines and so many of us other sports fans who have tried to listen to the him and hawing of the WNBA, saying, well, you got to protect trans rights. What does that mean? Well, we need trans fans. And in Seattle, we got to attack 2 little kids that have the XXXY shirt. You know why? If your chromosomes include a Y in sports, you must compete with guys. This is not a hateful or revolutionary thought, but in 2026, when the left is trying to literally twist themselves into pretzel knots, not literally, okay, figuratively, twist themselves into pretzel knots to kind of have their cake and eat it too, be woke, but also being encouraging. People are attacking Sophie Cunningham, the lady who was clotheslined yesterday, and the offender showed her racist colors by saying it was white privilege. That's why she was ejected from the game, not because she. Well, you'll see the play. You'll at least see some screenshots of the play. So I'm giving you all that, and we're going to jump ahead to the Sophie Cunningham clothesline in a second. But now we have 2 former NBA players, Royce White and Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter Freedom, he changed his name. They are now declaring themselves to be transgender for the purposes of basketball, entering their feminine era. And they have declared themselves eligible for the WNBA draft. And by the way, I strongly suggest the Indiana Fever draft both of these men to protect their 2 star players from having their heads taken off. These are 6'6" dudes, 250, 280 pounds or something like that. It's kind of like the only way you can either prove the absurdity of the leftist arguments. Well, let's just say that. perhaps the only way you have to prove the absurdity of the leftist arguments is to show you what it looks like. All right. Well, here's two transgender dudes that want to play in your WNBA. You going to fight them too, tough girls, like you do to Sophie Cunningham? Try to rip her head off? This could go no other way, as Adam Carolla loves to say. This could go no other way. Let's see this insanity through. You literally have a separate league with a W as the first letter because it's the Women's National Basketball Association. If your chromosomes include a Y, in sports, you must compete with guys. That's it. No hatred. It's just separating black licorice from red licorice. Mike and Ike's, purple from white. What other things can you separate? I'm very happy this is happening. This is very culturally significant. I don't think this will get the same amount of play as Colin Kaepernick's grandstanding and warping of cherry-picked data to make it seem like America is a terrible place when, in fact, it's the best country on earth. You know, ABC, ESPN, Disney breathlessly gave Kaepernick coverage 24/7 to keep pushing this narrative that America is a terrible place and vote against Trump and Republicans are bad and MAGA's bad. It was all part of their scheme. It was sort of their thing. Prayers up for Arnold. Says there's a massive forest fire raging in the Okanagan Valley region of British Columbia. 12,000 people evacuated from Summerland. How close is that to you exactly, Arnold? But yeah, continued prayers for like rain, precipitation, and these wildfires. I'm sorry, these arson. Most of these wildfires are arson. Many of them are arson. Let's say that. More than zero have been arson, including the one that took down Los Angeles. Trash Panda asks, what does the W in WNBA stand for? Wiener? Does not stand for wiener. But I love this story. This is very culturally significant. Two former NBA players are declaring for the WNBA draft. I am here for it.
NBA players now say they plan to declare for the 2027 WNBA draft. No joke. Royce White announced his plans after Enes Kanter Freedom made a similar move Friday, both challenging the league over its eligibility rules for transgender athletes. Our Natalie Chuck is live with much more on this. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Aisha. Yeah, Enes Kanter Freedom, the 6'10", roughly 250-pound former NBA center, took to social media yesterday announcing his return to the court, but this time for the Women's League. Listen.
After careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I am officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect. If simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA.
And shortly after that, former NBA first-round pick Royce White, who played 3 games in the league, told Fox News Digital.
Wait, he played 3 games in the league? Hold on. Royce White, he only played 3 games? I wasn't familiar with him as a basketball player. He was a first-round pick who only played 3 games? Did he have a career-ending injury? 3 games from a first-round pick? I'm trying to stall for Grok to give me an answer, but it doesn't appear to be giving me an answer.
That he will.
Former NBA players now say they.
Oh, here's the second part.
I know you don't have the fever.
Natalie Nakase, head coach. Golden State.
Again in the regular season, but coming out of the break, one of the big news stories has been Sophie Cunningham and the protests for her and protests against her. And, you know, they had a national televised game today and Cheryl, you know, wore a shirt, and it's just a conversation. I'm wondering, just what do you think about it? Do you think that's good for the league? Does it detract from the basketball? Is it just noise? I'm just wondering what your opinion is.
The WNBA has to figure some stuff out. Royce White only played 3 NBA games primarily because of his struggles with generalized anxiety disorder, including a severe fear of flying. Selected 16th by the Rockets overall out of Iowa State. He was open about anxiety and obsessive compulsive disorder, which made the NBA's demanding travel schedule, dozens of flights per season, extremely difficult for him. Accommodations, such as traveling by bus to some road games, conflicts developed over mental health protocols, including his request for independent medical oversight to determine when he was cleared to play. Never appeared in a regular season game for Houston. Rockets traded him to the Sixers, who waived him a few months later. The Kings signed him 2 10-day contracts. Played in 3 games that month, 9 minutes. According to no stats. 1 missed shot, 2 fouls. Kings didn't keep him. The end of his NBA career. Later played in the G League overseas in the Big 3 League. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that background because he wasn't a noteworthy player. Interesting.
I think, thank you for that question. I think just in terms of how I'm seeing it is, if I could answer with, like, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. You know, I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height.
What is she babbling about? Inclusivity. The first word in your company is called women's. It's exclusionary by definition, by common sense.
For my ethnicity.
I know you don't have the...
What?
Careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines.
Oh, earlier this week, I made the announcement. I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I identify as sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes of basketball, professional basketball. So I'll be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2027 as well. I mean, I think I'd be unstoppable. You know, but I'm a team first guy. You know, I'm a pass first kind of player. I do the little things. You know, I led my team in all 5 major stat categories at Iowa State University. So I do a little bit of everything. I'll do whatever the coach needs me to do. I'll do whatever the girls need me to do. I think the WNBA could come out and make a definitive statement about guys with a pair of balls playing in the women's association. But yeah. You know, hey, that'd be probably too much like right. So, and I don't want to be discriminated against. No, I want fair treatment. I'm a black, I'm a young black, hopefully United States Senator. Oh, earlier this week I made.
It's the only way to call them out on their crazy. We believe in inclusivity. No, you don't. You're the women's league. You're excluding men. Therefore, men cannot play in your league. Well, I don't want to be hateful. There's nothing hateful. You got to reclaim the language from the Democrat deep state, from the Marxists. Oh, you mean you don't want to be overthrown and subjugated by Sharia? You're a phobe. I'm a phobe because I want to maintain American civil liberties, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our way of life. And I don't want to be overthrown into something that's very totalitarian. Oh, I'm phobic of that. Nice try. No, I'm actually pro Women's National Basketball Association. Keeping their league stocked with women. Women only. If your chromosomes include a Y in sports, you must compete with guys. This is a huge moment. I know it's a little silly, but it's super important that you call this stuff out. So good job,
NBA
fellas.
players
I mean,
now-
ladies. Okay, here's one weird one that I saw. I want to look this up and see if this is happening. So the claim is there's this place called Shake Shack. And there's allegedly some viral video showing prices jump 8% if a customer selects no tip at the kiosk. I wonder if this is accurate. Let me do a little looking at it.
My wife says that if you don't tip at Shake Shack, they make it more expensive per item, so we're about to find out.
Oh no. I ordered 2 shakes just like before.
See, $5.99.
Okay.
So they're ordering food first, and then instead of an automatic tip, they're going to say no thank you, and then they're going to see a change.
We got cookies and cream,
Yeah, let's see.
and we got vanilla with card.
Okay, there it
Okay,
is.
see that? Let's say check out. And then we say, right here, no.
Uh-oh, there's been a pricing update.
Yep, they get, there's been a pricing update. By the way, you hear about dynamic pricing and stuff. Like if you start letting the stores track who you are and what the card that you're walking in with, or you got your phone or your chip and your Apple Pay. And, you know, I mean, we are so close to this digital credit score of China. Like we are so close to just between flock cameras. And if you go in and grab a bag of apples, you might get charged $3. But depending on what somebody else has in their bank account, they might get charged $2 or $4 or $40. This is beyond creepy. But anyway, they say, there's been a pricing update on one or more of your cart items. Please review these changes in your cart.
Yeah, one or more of your card items. Please review. Everything just went up 50 cents.
Now the price of everything went up 50 cents, they claim.
Every item went up by 50 cents.
My wife says that if you don't tip at Shake Shack,
Okay, so the video is real. The claim of an intentional no-tip surcharge has not been proven and is denied by Shake Shack. Well, there's 49 cents for a whipped cream add-on charge, subtotal around $18.46. Tipping options appear 15, 18, 20, or no tip. After selecting no tip, the message is then the subtotal goes up by $1.50. All right, so Shake Shack says this is not a Shake Shack policy. We're looking into it with our licensee, HMS Host, that operates a Salt Lake City airport location at the kiosk system. The location is run by a third-party airport concessionaire, HMS Host, not directly by corporate Shake Shack, and uses a specific kiosk system. So they're saying, well, it doesn't prove that the selection of no tip caused the change. Could be a software glitch. Oh, that's an easy one. You can blame it on a software glitch once, right? Like Mickey, what's her name? Cheryl in New Jersey. Governor, 6,600 illegal aliens are on the voter rolls. We're going to fix that. Okay, that was a software glitch? No. It either had to be programmed to accept that as an option happening, or it wasn't. It was allowed to happen, meaning it was designed to be happenable. What's the haps, paps? They said it could have been a pricing update or a kiosk error or some other technical issue. No confirmed evidence that this is a deliberate policy or that it happens at other Shake Shack locations. Could you imagine tipping at a kiosk? No thanks. Like at a kiosk. You want to tip a machine? Are we really talking about this? We cannot still be. Anyway. So to be determined. But I would say if you're using these machines, watch your prices. And even if you're at the grocery store, how many times did I just catch Target? Multiple times. The price of the item, when I scan it in, it's $1 off, $2 off, $3 off, 50 cents off. reported it to management 2, 3, maybe 4 times, to the point I started taking pictures of the items. So I didn't want to have to walk all the way to the back of the store and to the front of the store. And I told them I will stop coming here. Like, you guys are, this feels intentional at this point. So just pay attention to the prices you think you're paying, and pay attention to what's being scanned in. Too many people just swipe and they're not looking. Call a manager over, get that price change. Don't let anybody steal from you. So factor crap to be determined. Looks like they're looking at it. C3 says temporary protected status was a permanent scam. Haiti, 16 years of this. Syria, 14 years. Nepal, 11 years. Does this sound temporary? Yemen, 11 years. Sudan, 28 years. Somalia, 35 years. Honduras, temporary protected status for 26 years. Nicaragua, 26 years. El Salvador, 24 years. And Americans paid for it all. The Trump administration is ending this robbery. So don't get blackpilled. Don't say there's no difference between Trump and the Democrats, MAGA and the liberals. They're the same. They are not the same. They are not. Speaking of illegal immigrants, this one's pretty great. It's one of these party buses, these little party tours or bachelorette something. You got somebody steering the machine. It's like a pedal bus. I don't know what you call it. A pedal bus? Like a trolley? And so this meme shows illegal immigrants are just sitting up front, doing nothing, fat and bloated, fat and happy, holding the steering wheel, steering where everything goes. And you got liberal white women pedaling, putting all their energy into making sure that illegal immigrants have every leg up, every bonus that Americans don't. Liberal white women will pedal incessantly to make sure that happens. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this meme. Because it is the awfuls, the angry white female leftists, primarily, that are keeping that Democrat Party from complete insolvency and just being shattered to 1,000 pieces. That party deserves zero support, zero funding, zero respect, zero votes. And it's the angry white female leftists, the awfuls, pedaling like crazy to keep the stupidity going. That is the one demographic they seem to have a magic spell on. So reach out to any angry white female leftist in your inner circle. See if you might be able to talk some sense into them. And I wouldn't hold your breath either. But this is just working hard to give him money. So hard to give him money. Liberal white women pedaling hard for some money, so illegal immigrants sleep well at night. They pedal hard for the money. Just pure meme perfection. Remove that demographic from that voting block. Watch how quickly society makes sense again. I don't know what's in the water. I don't know what they did in the schools. I don't know why that demographic is so prone to being brainwashed and accepting the garbage, why they feel such guilt and shame for things they didn't do and narratives that aren't quite true or remotely true. The savior complex from the awfuls. It is awful. But this is great. So great, I shared it twice. The story I don't even want to talk about. He's still talking July 21st. All right. Well, deep breaths. There seems to be a whether it's Sophie Cunningham or whatever this stark raving lunatic video, this racist video, misogynist video, just I don't even want to cover this story. So let's just try to get through it. We'll get 3 pieces of commentary. I'd say try not to let the imagery get you too upset, but that's an impossibility. I think Irina Zarutska, super innocent, didn't do anything wrong to anybody. White woman, savagely, randomly, brutally attacked by a crazy, angry, racist black dude. Yeah, here we go.
Talking? You still talking? July 21st? Say Elijah! Say Elijah! Elijah! Elijah, my son! Motherfucker, you playing?
The knocked out white girl is being smacked around by the crazy black guy.
Motherfucker, you playing?
That's 3 extra smacks while.
Fuck you, bro, nigga! Fuck you, bro! These fucking glasses, that's what you do!
This right here is what soft on crime policies get you.
This is Jeffrey Mead breaking this down. Ugh.
This would be our reality if the Democratic Socialists got their way. I want people to think about this because they don't want police, they don't want prisons. Individuals like this man would be running around in society free, harming innocent people. Let me give you a bit about his background. He's had multiple prior assault charges.
Multiple prior assault charges mean you need to be locked away for good. You reach a point when you're violent and crazy, and you should reach that point pretty quick. He lost his LA privileges. You lost your LA privileges. Sorry, I had to find my Ving Rhames Pulp Fiction voice. You just lost your LA privileges. It's a lot deeper. You lose free-range privileges when you're a crazy, violent person. And the judges that keep letting these crazy, violent people out, primarily in blue cities, blue states, many times by angry white female leftist activist judges, this needs to change.
A 2020 conviction for shooting into an occupied building or vehicle.
You sort of don't let people like this out again.
Recently was arrested for being accused of pepper spraying someone on a bus. He's been banned from the Charlotte area transit system.
Oh, this is literally where Irina happened.
And in his most recent arrest, which was December, I think it says, he was arrested for allegedly threatening a man with a knife. Now, we're not done. This is also him again. By the way, his name is Daquan Schaefer Hunt.
So we dummy down shit. What? So dummy down shit, bitch. You wanna run, bitch? You wanna run, motherfucker? Huh? Huh? I bet you run again, motherfucker. I bet you run again, motherfucker. You said something else? You said something? You said something, motherfucker? You said something? Keep playing, nigga. Keep playing, nigga.
This is how many mugshots we have of this individual.
Unreal.
This is in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I want to tell you guys again, who we vote for matters. This is what I'm talking about when I say the modern Democratic Party, these Democratic Socialists who are coming into power are dangerous to us and public safety. This is an example of what I mean. Again, these people are literally talking about getting rid of the police and abolishing prisons. We need the police, and some people need to have their ass in prison. That's just the reality. And Democrats are welcoming people with these crazy ideas that are going to make me, you, your children, your grandparents, your mother, everybody less safe. We shouldn't have to worry about an individual doing this to a woman in our family if she's walking down the street randomly on some day. But if we leave it up to Democrats, it's likely they will make that a reality for all of us, especially considering the fact that they're embracing the Democratic Socialists and talking about it. We're a big tent party. We're a big tent party. No, you're an idiotic party who's dangerous. By the way, this man has been arrested. By the way, the woman that was assaulted, she's okay, and he's being charged with assault with a deadly weapon from what I'm seeing. But again, who we vote for matters. Who we put into power matters. Don't forget, guys, I have a...
All right. 2 more takes on this one, and we'll move on.
By now, we've all seen the video. If not, here you go.
That's the real issue, nigga. That's the real issue, nigga. You sitting here playing with me, nigga. That's the real issue, nigga. July 21st is the real issue, nigga. July 21st, that's the real issue. Nah, don't wave to me. You still talking? You still talking? July 21st?
How old is this kid? It's a little kid carrying around a balloon. You see what the balloon says? Back on your feet soon. She was knocked off her feet, unconscious on the ground. She's carrying a balloon to deliver to someone who's not feeling well or out of surgery. Get back on your feet soon. This isn't AI. This is a real video. This is the simulation winking at us. Do you see that right there? Get back. I hope you're back. Get back on your feet soon.
Say you like him. Say you like him. He like him. He likes him, my son. Motherfucker, you playing? Motherfucker, you playing? Fuck you, blue nigga.
Let's get into it, shall we? If this dude's rap sheet was any longer, it qualifies as a CVS receipt. Charlotte, North Carolina. Broad daylight. We all seen it. This animal decides that he wants to become a problem on multiple levels. Knocks this lady out cold. Stands over her screaming, and then posts a video multiple times after that. His whole page. Another video of him chasing a woman around the car, threatening to kill her. Police finally scooped him up, though. My question is, how many times is this catch and release going to be played? Look at dude's resume real quick. Assault with a deadly...
Yeah. You lock them up and throw away the key, they lose their free-range privilege. This is what I hated about Los Angeles. It was 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people causing 98% of the problems. And even when they would get arrested, they'd be dumped back onto the streets to keep causing problems, to the point where the local gangs were putting hits out on some of these bad guys because they don't want to be harassed. They don't want their property burglarized, vandalized, breaking and entering, fires, assaults, property damage, theft, all sorts of problems from just a couple of people. Just a couple of people. We have got to demand something better. Nationwide, we cannot let blue cities, blue governors, blue district attorneys, Soros funded, recommended. We can't allow this stuff. With a rap sheet that long, you're in a facility forever. You've been deemed unfit for society. You're done.
Weapon, communicating threats, concealed weapon, assaulting an officer, resisting, simple assault, disorderly, breaking and entering, injury to property, discharging a firearm, domestic violence protective order violations stacked up like pancakes, assault on a female, multiple times, cases dismissed, time served, credited, suspended sentences, 89 days here, 6 days there, 11 days, 90 days, revolving door. This is what soft on crime policy looks like when it walks out of the courthouse and starts hunting women on the street. Not a one-time mistake, a pattern. A predator who keeps getting the benefit of the doubt while regular people are just supposed to just stay safe and hope the next random punch doesn't land on them. This is what happens when a revolving door justice system treats chronic offenders like they're on some kind of damn rewards program. If someone repeatedly demonstrates they're a danger to the public, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe they shouldn't keep getting unlimited opportunities to prove it. So, yeah. Women, this is the message. The system is not going to save you in time. The only thing standing between you and the next piece of shit is you. Get trained, get legal.
Get trained, get legal. Yeah, I used to hate navigating the hot spots in Los Angeles where the crazies were. You know, I have a psychology degree. I've volunteered at crisis centers. I have compassion for the drug-addled, the drug-addicted, for the mentally unwell. And both of those groups should be in a facility, not terrorizing street corners or bus stations or train stations or buses or street corners or outside of shops at the corners, harassing people or engaging in petty crime or worse. Those people need help, and they get that help off of the streets. And if you're repeatedly violent, you don't pass go or collect $200, you're done. You're a dangerous, violent lunatic, and you have to stay in a facility. Sometimes that's jail, and sometimes it's, you want to call it a halfway house or something? But you never get out. I don't care what you call it. You don't return. That 3 strikes and you're out kind of thing. We've got to change our sentencing guidelines in this country.
Start carrying. Not because it's cute, because the alternative is lying on the sidewalk while some career offender films the shit for Instagram. Men too, everybody. Soft cities and soft policies produce hard reality. When the same guy keeps walking free after assault after assault after assault.
When they walk free, you know what happened? You started hearing about the hits that were being placed on them. Ear to the grindstone, rumors of rumors. I didn't know of anything specific or imminent. Yet you want vigilante justice? This is how you get vigilante justice. Oh my gosh, you can't string somebody up like in the Wild West, or if it was racist or something. You go, what? You'd string up the horse thieves. There was justice in the American Southwest, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, California, Texas, Oklahoma. The police are supposed to be there to protect the bad guy from vigilante justice. It's not really supposed to be there to protect the bad guy from repercussions of his actions. And it's not supposed to be there to protect accountability. The justice system is supposed to be to protect you from the mob of people that will take you to the gallows for your crimes against their community and say, this wolf will never bite a child in this town again. We caught it. You will not prey upon us ever again. The rabid pit bull gets put down. Somewhere along the lines, law enforcement started protecting the bad guys legally instead of just physically. The mob will rip them to shreds. Let's get them arrested. Get them out of here. You're sort of protecting the person from themselves, from their own actions. But that's different than what's happening now. It's a free-for-all. It's a free pass. And it really is thumbing the nose at the citizens of each community where that happens.
The only equalizer left is personal responsibility. Stop pretending the revolving door is going to magically stop spinning. So save yourselves, protect yourselves. Because the people writing the policy, sure as fuck, aren't protecting you. No apologies. That's the real issue.
Yeah, when seconds count, police are only minutes away.
By now.
All right, final thoughts. Oh, I thought there were.
By now.
Oh, there might be one more.
By now.
Let me guess.
All right, last one.
Let me.
Carmen JC.
Let me guess. Y'all don't want to talk about this. Of course you don't. You don't want to talk about the black men that are assaulting white women. And matter of fact, you don't even make this a racial case. These are more racial cases than the cases that you guys try to make racial cases. The fact that these men are repeat offenders and they're constantly assaulting white women, you guys don't care. Because you don't really care about justice. You care about being a victim. You care about making excuses. That is the truth. This happened with Carlos Brown. This happened when he stabbed Irina Zaruski in the neck for no reason. And he said, I got that white girl. Isn't that what he said? I'm sure that was a racial case, but no hatred there, right? There was no hatred there. Or what about William Livingston, right? He went around punching white women in the face. I covered this, you guys. Oh, you're just trying to take up for white people. Yeah, what about William Livingston, another black guy punching white women in the face? That.
Remember this case? We covered this weeks ago. In my lifetime, I've never seen a white guy punch a random black woman in the face, knock her out cold and hit her several different times. I've never seen what happened to this lady here. I've seen both of these in a month and a half, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 7 weeks. I forget how long ago this story was. I mean, the universe that the Democrat Party tries to create and say that whites are evil and violent and America's a terrible place. And it's like, I don't see those stories. I've never seen a white dude punch a black lady in the face and completely mangle up her face like this lady in this picture. Or blast a little black girl and knock her out cold and keep hitting her in the head multiple times, screaming about something. I've never seen it. That's not to say it doesn't exist. But why isn't this wall-to-wall story in the lying legacy media? Why isn't this front page coverage 24/7 talking about this epidemic of anti-white hatred in this country? Why is it that the narrative only goes one way, where whites are bad? Where is the equal time argument to say this is happening to white women, specifically by crazy black dudes? And put Irina Zarutska on the list. She was completely terminated. These two abused women survived, luckily. Is that an epidemic? 3 in the past year? My gosh, you had Rodney King took you 2 decades worth. You had George Floyd 5 years worth of headlines, nonstop, incessant reporting, try to fire up a revolution in the country, a riot in the country, some political movement in the country to demonize all people who don't see eye to eye with you politically. You just don't hear some of these stories, or they come and they go.
Is the real racism. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but you guys kill more of them than they do of you. Let me guess, y'all.
All right. Well, anyway, there's that disgusting story. Now you know about it too.
Let me guess, y'all.
Too much music in this, but it's pretty interesting. So some questions. If humans evolved from apes, then why do apes exist? If Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, who took the photo of him stepping onto it? NASA somehow lost the original recordings of the moon landing, one of humanity's greatest achievements. Gone. How? If we did it in 1969, why haven't we gone back? Why can't anyone freely explore Antarctica? What are they hiding? How did ancient civilizations build structures so perfect they can't be replicated today? Why do Egyptian artifacts show spacecraft? And why do dragons appear in every culture's history? Why is the entertainment industry obsessed with occult symbols? And in a world this advanced, why are we sicker and sadder and more controlled than ever before? Ask yourself a question. If you know the answer, prove it. Don't know who that was. I had to mute it because of the music in the background. All right. Mike Rowe torches the worker uprising myth behind Democrat socialism on with Bill Maher. Mike Rowe is a good listen on his shows.
But the stat that got me, within the Democratic Party right now, 59% of Democrats who support socialism have college degrees. 40% who support socialism don't. So this thing that's being called a worker uprising, it's really not. No, it's not. This is happening because a lot of people with a really expensive credential are in the hole in a big way, and they're pissed. And I don't blame them, honestly. I mean,
saddled with tons of debt, taught useless skills that don't translate into the workforce. There need to be accountability criteria for the colleges and universities. You shouldn't be able to collect on a student loan that couldn't possibly get you ready for a college degree. And if you want to, maybe you need to put your own endowment money on the line instead of making some federal program backfill, or as a backstop rather, so that even if people declare bankruptcy because they can't pay their student loan back, guess what? The student loan debt follows you, even through bankruptcy. So the colleges can keep increasing the price of their indoctrination and cranking out people who are angry at their parents, angry at their country, angry at God, angry at Christians, angry at whites, angry at America specifically. Okay, well, if you want to pony up your money to loan out your own IOUs to people who are not getting a positive mindset, they're not getting skills, they're not getting hired, then maybe you should suffer if they don't pay it back instead of the taxpayer. This shouldn't be federally attached to the loans. That's a huge part of this. And if you can, I've seen some proposals in legislation, executive orders. I'm trying to remember exactly where it's at. But some of the new criteria being proposed, talked, or approved in different places, it could be state by state or nationwide. But if you can't prove a 20%, higher earnings for that career than if you didn't go to college, then you're not going to get loans for this. Sure, you can waste your own money. You can go there, but we're not going to be on the hook for stuff that you can't prove does a damn bit of good to make you employable in the workforce. We've got to do something to education. And Mike Rowe's approaching it from like the worker's perspective. And what is this whole Democrat socialism thing? Bill Maher and Mike Rowe both probably equally hate it.
You can say what you want about it, but they took our advice, man. They took our advice. We said, borrow whatever it takes.
Yep. And college price keeps going up, going up, going up, going up. Never goes down. Just keep borrowing. Oh, by the way, maybe we'll even co-sign on it and we'll attach our house to it. So now you can come after the kid and after me. What a brilliant idea. What a great reason to never send your kid to college to go be indoctrinated by weirdos for 4 years.
Go follow your dream and then go get your dream job. And that was a bunch of nonsense. I don't know if you...
Dream jobs versus jobs that people want. Jobs that people are hiring for.
I don't know if you...
There's a big difference. Big difference. Top of the hour, I want to remind everybody, please consider, if you're having a good time and enjoying the show, instead of selling you pillows or coffee or survival seeds or silver coins, I'm just going to sell you on myself. Please go to Patreon or Rumble or YouTube and consider subscribing, signing up to be a $100 monthly donor or a $15 monthly donor or even a $5 monthly donor. Every 30-something days, $5 or $15 or $100 or $1,000, whatever you can do, it translates, it processes, and it shifts into our operating expense fund, which, by the way, there's another $205 expense coming up that is going to happen in just a couple of weeks. And it's just a reminder that, yes, there is overhead for this nonstop. If you'd like to see more of this, please consider supporting this. Patreon, Rumble, and YouTube. Become a subscriber to the New American Media. You can drop a Rumble rant or YouTube tip into the tip jar. Or you could do Venmo or Cash App. That's my name, Brian Engelman, at Brian Engelman, Venmo or Cash App. Or PayPal. Email address is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com, and it's all scrolling at the bottom of the screen. All right, so like I told you, let's check in on the Democrat Party. How are things going? Not so good.
But the other reporting that we got this weekend was that the DNC is struggling. They are millions of dollars in debt.
Yep.
They are they're so short on cash that they've asked
There's too much music. They're bringing the music in. Doggone it.
their vendors not to bother.
Okay. Leaders at the headquarters undertook a new gambit, masking the severity of the problem, asking vendors not to send bills until after the midterm elections. Ha! Millions of dollars every election to sister committees responsible for winning the House and Senate. But the National Party is short on cash even after a $15 million loan last year. Officials privately conveyed to congressional leadership there will be no such.
Fair, and I think that's maybe why they're so reluctant.
Okay, there's music, and this guy just sitting there over top of this is not very helpful because I can't read the. Anyway, the Democrats are broke. Is it because of U.S. aid or because nobody likes them? It could be both. But this is the time for the massive red wave to retire as many Democrats as possible. And then get your 60 votes in the Senate. I don't want the black pill talk about and it doesn't matter and Trump's the same as the rest of them. It's just not true. It's just not true. And while we still have a chance, let's make it work. Democrats are broke. Did Doge have anything to do with that? Sorry, I'd play it for you, but there's too much music. You can watch it directly. Gateway Pundit reports betrayal in the swamp. Turncoat John Thune sends Senate home for 37 days, but schedules 11 pro forma sessions to block Trump from making recess appointments. Make that one make sense. We'll get to more on that in a second. Representative Brian Harrison says Texas government is advertising birth certificates for illegal aliens in Spanish, according to Bannon's War Room. Well, you better investigate that. Okay. I got to ask Grok if this is true. I saw this story. It's kind of fun. But if it's just AI slop or some silly little post, then we don't need to spend time on it. But if you ever wondered about the original 1864 recipe of Guinness beer, more than 160 years ago, this story is a fascinating intersection of archaeology, microbiology, and brewing science that could give modern drinkers a literal taste of the past. The story was allegedly, am I still on the screen? Let's go full screen. There we are. Divers recently recovered a 162-year-old bottle of Guinness from a shipwreck. It is true. In 2025, Belgian diver, underwater photographer Stefan Panis and British diver Eddie Hussey recovered a sealed bottle of Guinness Extra Stout from the wreck of the Mindoro, or the Mindora, a sailing ship that sank off the coast of Dover in the English Channel, November 27, 1864, after colliding with another vessel. So yeah, 162 years old. Bottle was found and buried in the cargo area with its seal intact. After rinsing it on the surface, the Guinness branding, including Guinness Extra Stout London, became visible. Divers believe it was part of a case of around 24 bottles, and more may remain at the site under the sand. They plan further recoveries. Recovering living original yeast is considered unlikely because yeast does not typically survive long after bottling. But genetic material could still provide clues about the 1860s recipe and allow researchers to identify a close modern relative of the original yeast strain, potentially enabling a small-scale rebrew that approximates the historical taste. Possibility the beer inside remains drinkable if seawater did not leak through the cork. The cold and the dark and the high-pressure conditions on the seafloor could have aided preservation. Diageo owns Guinness, has been informed and expressed interest, describing such finds as providing a fascinating window into the past. Okay, well, that is true, because at the bottom, Ash then says, somewhere, an Irishman just felt a disturbance in the force. All of that for the joke. All of that for the little punchline. But it doesn't matter if the story's a fake story. It doesn't hit as hard. Ah, good grief. Somewhere, an Irishman just felt a disturbance in the force. I don't know why Sean Connery's repeating that now. Royce White, the former NBA player, he goes, I'm just having a blast in my feminine era. I never thought that I was a woman. I think it's only fair I get a chance to play with some of my queens here in the twilight of my career. That's so good. Not following the account, but I'll follow it. Why not? All right, that's what I wanted to share with you on Instagram. Make sure you follow the New American Media on Instagram. All right, over on X at American_media_ pinned at the top of the page is Patreon. You click it, you link a credit card, takes 2 minutes, and you say, I am a foundational supporter for the New American Media now. A little bit goes a long way. And please hit share the show, text a couple of friends the link and invite them into the program to leave comments. See, we do stream. We stream live here on this platform, on X. Look at that. It's like a frame within a frame. How long of a delay do I have before I put the frame inside the frame? Oh, probably right here. So what are we, about 8 seconds, 9 seconds delay? Is that what I look like? Why am I doing such silly stuff? Anyway. Yeah, Enes Kanter Freedom is 6'8", 260. Declares for the WNBA draft. The only way to stop him, the WNBA has to define woman and ban males from identifying as women. Pure checkmate. I love it so much. It's my favorite story right now. All right, let's check in on Bernie Sanders. Discussing Wisconsin Democrat Socialist Francesca Hong's platform. You know, like, instead of arresting the crazy violent people in Charlotte, let's just keep dumping them back on the streets so they can attack white women. Like Irina Zarutska. And that girl that was knocked unconscious in that video, then repeatedly hit while on the ground.
Democratic Socialist Francesca Hong in Wisconsin is expected to win her Democratic primary. There's been some attention to some of her social media posts recently, but she has this platform of free childcare, state-run grocery stores, more health care subsidies. She wants to raise income taxes on millionaires. Some of this does seem to align with your platform. So I'm wondering, why don't you support her? Is some of what she supports too extreme for you?
No, raising taxes on the rich, making sure that everybody in Wisconsin or America has health care as a right, sounds quite reasonable to me.
Democratic
Bernie Sanders, quite reasonable to me. Okay. What is this? The Blaze saying foreign-born Obama judge seethes over dismissal of J6 charges against Oath Keepers not covered by the Trump pardon. What was this one? August 5th from 5 days ago. Indian-born federal judge appointed by former President Obama dismissed J6. Yeah. So many pop-ups. I can't even see what I'm... Can I not? How do I can't read it. Okay, never mind. I'll just unshare that one. All right, so Senator Chuck Schumer on March 15th of 2026 says Democrats support voter ID. Senate Republicans say Schumer flat out lied. Whoop, I guess the whole... There we go. Put that back up on the screen. Schumer flat out lied. Yesterday, every Democrat had a chance to vote for voter ID, and not a single one did. Schumer lies. They do not support voter ID. They are trying to pull a fast one. Again. Send them packing. Send them to jail. Prosecute the cheaters already. Todd Blanche has been confirmed. We'll get to that in a second. Attorney General. Make the arrests. Do the indictments. Grand jury, like, just go. Just make the arrests. We cannot wait anymore. We know who's been up to no good for years. Arrest them. Indict them. Breitbart News reports that Senator Mike Lee, Utah, calls out the U.S. Senate for the amount of recess it's taken this year, with the Senate set to take more recess in the remaining weeks of 2026. Republicans say terrorist sympathizer Abdul Rahman Mohammed El Sayed thinks America deserved 9/11. Oh, is that a fact?
You know, you face scrutiny for campaigning with socialist streamer Hassan Piker, who has made a series of inflammatory comments, as you well know, including saying America deserved 9/11, describing Hamas as a lesser evil than Israel. Do you plan to continue to campaign with Hassan Piker in the general election campaign?
Look, I'm less concerned now with who I'm campaigning with, a lot more concerned about who I'm campaigning to. We got a lot of work to do to continue to build the coalition that's going to beat Mike Rogers.
Would you welcome him, though? On the campaign trail with
Like I
you?
said, I'm a lot more focused on who I'm campaigning to. So I think we have this notion sometimes on shows like this that we cannot or should not talk to certain groups of people. And I'll tell you that the 3 million people who listen to Hassan are people I want to make sure understand that there's a pathway into our politics around getting money out of politics so we can keep money back in pockets and pass Medicare for all. And so I'm going to continue to have the conversations with those folks who we desperately need to reach out to, just like I'm going to continue to have conversations with seniors in senior homes, folks up north, folks in Detroit, folks in Grand Rapids. So again, I'm a lot more focused on who I'm campaigning to rather than who I might campaign with.
Yeah, I mean, she tried, but she let him get away with it. Does Syed denounce David Duke or not? Ask him every day, like the lying legacy media kept doing to President Trump. Yep. Do you disavow David Duke?
You know, you've...
Yes or no? Young Americans for Liberty say on August 15, 1971, Richard Nixon announced the U.S. would temporarily suspend the dollar's convertibility into gold. That temporary suspension has lasted over 50 years. Since then, the dollar has lost over 80% of its purchasing power, and the national debt has exploded from under $400 billion to over $30 trillion. Here's a 7-minute clip explaining how the U.S. abandoned sound money and what it means for your financial future. So in the WNBA, this lady, He Hate Me, says this is the dirtiest racist player in the league, once again pulling the hair of a white player. And this delusional DiJonai Carrington needs to be suspended for the rest of the season. So apparently she's got a history. You know, this isn't like there's no universe where you grab onto someone's hair. And she grabs on this white lady's hair and yanks her neck, her head back. I mean, you could have a career-ending injury from this. This is not a basketball play. This is a dirty takedown. And this is what this delusional DiJonai is up to. It's the brand of basketball that she plays. By the way, this is the lady that tweeted out it was white privilege. That's why she was kicked out of the game. By the way, that wasn't even the one. We'll show you the clothesline in a second. This lady, it cannot be lost on the viewer that she is culturally appropriating blonde women, white blonde women with that hairdo. Maybe that makeup, but that hairdo. Wants to turn around and say it was white privilege. So she's a dirty player. There's very few times I can ever think of men dragging another man down by his hair. maybe that's commonplace. Maybe that happens every day in the WNBA. I just don't watch enough, but that doesn't seem normal to me. Mark Thiessen says she should be kicked out of the league. So here it is. Take a look. Look at this image. Here's a still shot. Let me go full screen. If you're missing Sophie Cunningham's head, it's underneath her black forearm. And then she tweets out, it's white privilege was why she was suspended for the game. She got ejected. Yeah, that's a flagrant. That is not a basketball play. That is, oh, by the way, here's the point. A lot of people have been covering this. Unfortunately, these cat fight kind of things, but these aren't just cat fights. It's not just one girl up in another girl's business. There is alphabet people against straight people. There is non-white people against white people in the WNBA. There is keep women in the WNBA, and no, we should let men who claim to be women play in the WNBA. It's divided through these categories right now. Every one of these altercations is not just, oh, it's a cat fight, or oh, it's Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Look, they just rival each other. They play so hard. No, it's super dirty. That's not basket. Sophie Cunningham made the play. That ball went in, by the way. She's missing her head in this image, and she still made the shot. I don't want anybody to lose fact of the matter that ball went in the hoop, despite this clothesline. Stuff like this used to happen in the NFL in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Oh, they stopped that stuff. Defenseless receivers, too many concussions, really taking players' heads off. But don't worry, Sports Illustrated calls the attack on Sophie Cunningham. Remember Sophie Cunningham? She's the one that was ringside at the Dana White thing 7 minutes before the event. She said, I'll be a ring girl. She walked around with the, round two in her short shorts. And she's the one that did the finger wag, pointing at somebody that was trying to start problems. And she just, yep, I see you. Yeah, that's about you. That's the one that got her head taken off. Because she also came out and said, no, the WNBA is a place for biological women, for women. Then she was slandered as being hateful, and she came out and said, not once did I issue anything hateful. Y'all are being hateful about this. This is a women's space. Our locker rooms, our courts should be for women. That's it. That's not hateful against any community. It's pro the women community. They always do that. They try to twist the language. Don't let them get away with it. Don't let them get away with it. Trash Panda on Kick says Royce White was in a wig this morning on Benny's show. Funny. Yeah, maybe he's wearing this delusional DiJonai wig. Anyway, Sports Illustrated calls the attack on Sophie Cunningham by anti-white Sky player a bitter taste of karma. Karma! And then later retracts the headline. Yeah, Sports Illustrated garbage, ESPN garbage. Keeping the sports world for a second, Danielle Gill says Aaron Rodgers didn't just call ESPN a gutless organization with no integrity. He called ESPN a gutless organization with no integrity as he was live on ESPN. Let's all give Aaron a big thank you. Adam Carolla says if more people spoke up during COVID, we wouldn't have gotten destroyed by the liars. Suck it, ESPN. Good. Hello, Leanne. Welcome into chat. Rob, everybody else. Hope you all had a good weekend, too, even if we're feeling a little less than fantastic at the moment. Steve Ferguson asks, why aren't all 52 Republican senators calling out Leader Thune for not allowing President Trump to make recess appointments? There's a couple points in that I will clarify for you. Why is the USS Cole trending? Okay, what's this? Hormuz report. Here, let's just see the report, shall we?
of Hormuz, there are questions about what comes next, and the Iranians are starting to make new demands. Iran's Supreme National Security Council issued a fresh statement this weekend calling for the United States to permanently end the war and compensate Iran for damages before the strait would reopen. This does come as Iran's foreign minister says even if a deal is reached, it doesn't necessarily mean the strait will stay open. Of Hormuz.
Now Trump is demanding compensation from Iran for all the people they've killed and gravely wounded with the roadside bombs in many conflicts. Those led by Soleimani, including families of those killed on the USS Cole. That's why it's trending. And thousands of others killed in combat. Additionally, compensation should be paid to the families of the hundreds of thousands of innocent protesters that Iran has killed over the last 50 years, not to mention the 52,000 that have been killed in the last 5 months. I've instructed my representatives to put this firmly into any and all future negotiations. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That's why it's trending. Demanding compensation from Iran for decades of attacks and the USS Cole bombing and roadside bomb casualties as part of any peace deal. In retaliation from Iran saying they want compensation for the recent 5-month military conflict. Okay. That's how you negotiate. I'm not rolling over for this. Check out our Friday show, Ballroom Blocked Again, Birthright Citizenship Battle, and Save America Act Urgency. Pinned right here is our Rumble link, where you can click on it and become a subscriber for as little as $5 a month. Please consider doing so. Or just drop a standalone Rumble rant tip or super chat tip. Riley Gaines has thoughts. If I full screen this, you're going to see the play. I think I can do still shots, but there it is. She's going up for the shot. I can do still images. But there you go. Her head's taken clean off. By the way, that ball goes in. Look at it. There's the ball. It went in. So here, let me minimize this so we don't watch the video. We'll go like this. I want to hear what she has to say, though, so let's press play.
I would actually say that this is black privilege, to be totally honest with you, because her posting this white racist comment right after assaulting Sophie Cunningham on the court is actually black privilege because she knows the WNBA won't do a single thing of significance about it. And imagine if the roles were reversed. If Sophie made a comment similar to this, then she'd likely never play again. And actually, we just saw this from Coach Sandy Brondello. She got disciplined for making, I believe, a pretty innocent, maybe, offhand comment about talking about Angel Reese and saying that she's a protected species. She was suspended and disciplined. Mm-hmm. And I think if that's the standard, then DiJonai should be too.
I think.
All right. Yeah. Racist anti-white comment she posted for an Indiana. I can show you this still. I'm trying to be careful with what I show you, what I can't show you. There it is. That's what she posted. The privilege of blasting her in the face. There it is. See the elbow? See the forearm? Watch the immediate aftermath of that. I mean, just head violently yanked backward. Look at that. She still made the shot, so take that. Yep, slow motion video with high detail photos inserted. She still made the shot. That might be the most stunning part of it. I mean, just imagine the gall of clotheslining somebody like that. And then dropping some anti-white racist drivel as a response. That's your response. These plays are not allowed in football. You're going to the head. You can't do that. Everybody knows that. Yeah, she should be suspended for more than a game. And for her racism, too. Anyway, I can't play you more video, but yeah, WNBA declared open season on Sophie Cunningham because she wants to protect little girls from grown men in their locker rooms. So now they're trying to give her a career-ending injury. Yep. Deontay Carrington for clotheslining Sophie Cunningham, then posting white privilege while appropriating white culture with fake-ass straight blonde hair. Okay. White privilege, she says. So sick of this Marxist dribble. So sick of it all. But check this out. Florida Attorney General offers his response to the brutal foul on Sophie. James Utmeyer suggested on X that a play like that would never happen in the Sunshine State. You see this one? One of the wildest moments of the WNBA season came on Saturday. Indiana Fever, Chicago Sky. Deontay handed a flagrant 2 for appearing to clothesline Fever Sophie Cunningham. Florida Attorney General chimes in and says a play like that would never happen in the Sunshine State. There's not currently a WNBA club in the state. Is there going to be? Cleveland's getting one. Oh, Orlando Miracle went to Connecticut. Now they're the Connecticut Sun. Okay. Miami. But basically, well, this post isn't quite explaining it, but I did read that. Oh, here we go. BizPack review. Florida AG threatens assault charges after brutal Sophie Cunningham foul. So yeah, if you come try to assault, it's assault. It's not playing the game. You got a personal beef with this woman because she's more popular than you. She's prettier than you. She's more unique and authentic than you. She's more well-liked than you. Better endorsement deals than you. So you're going to try to take her head off? Okay. We shall see. What's up, Joker Poker? We got talk with Arn and people about the August 12 eclipse. And then a meteor shower following the eclipse. Interesting. Should I get my eclipse glasses out? Imagine going to the locker room, getting kicked out of a game for being a nitwit, and then posting white privilege. That's the society that we find ourselves in 2020. President Trump posts a video on GOP Lisa Murkowski, who just refused to vote for Todd Blanche as Attorney General because he's too political. Says commentary account Trump. Donald J. Trump posts commentary account. She had zero problem confirming Merrick Garland, who weaponized the Department of Justice while personally approving the raid on President Trump's home. Watch.
President Trump just posted this video from C3 on X of Attorney General Garland personally approving a raid on Trump's home in Florida. This is the same Garland that Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski voted to confirm, but she refuses to confirm Todd Blanche because he is too political.
There are, however, certain points I want you to know. First, I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
Yeah. Lisa Murkowski is awful. Awful, awful, awful. Okay. Public Reason is explaining this, and I want to kind of break this down. My understanding is that 74 nominees from 17 ambassadorships to FEMA and TSA leadership, 17 ambassadorships to FEMA and TSA leadership have been confirmed in one vote, which was the week of August 3rd. Not 74 separate votes. One en bloc vote under S Resolution 817, the Senate's actual mechanism for clearing a backlog like this. So you keep hearing about these recess appointments. My understanding is that 74 of the 84 were pushed through. The only reason 10 didn't make it is they ran out of time, which is just a huge fail from John Thune. If you're going to batch approve all of these, put the last 10 in. What are you doing? And if you missed 10 of them, don't gavel in. Let President Trump appoint the 10 people that are sitting there, waiting to get working. These are vacant positions. What are we doing? Why are we handcuffing our own party? I say our as a reluctant member of MAGA who's come over to the Republican side. Definitely interested in dismantling and completely demolishing and destroying the deep state Democrat disastrous party. That doesn't make me Republican. It's just the people trying to stop the Democrats. Pit Dream says if Thune wasn't doing pro forma recess, Trump would have had them available months ago to help him protect us. But no, the traitor Thune sucks. First time in history of no recess appointments. I'm not aware of any time in history that no recess appointments have occurred, and especially being blocked by the leadership of his own party. But it shows you the deep state is not in the MAGA party. They don't support President Trump. They're trying to actively K him. Look at Butler. Look at the golf course. Look at it. Ann Vandersteel says, now we know why Trump's nominees are suddenly moving. Senate Republicans changed the rules. No more allowing the confirmation process to be strangled one nominee at a time. 74 nominees, one package. This is how you break procedural obstruction. Staff the government, put Trump's team into place, listen to we the people, and execute the agenda. Chicago 1 Ray says, FAFO, any senator who holds pro forma sessions for John Thune so he can continue to block Trump from having recess appointments gets voted out. Thune's first session is set to be held Monday. Let the Senate GOP hear from you. They'll see this, stand with Trump, or lose your job. And my understanding is people like Senator Bernie Moreno, according to, I was listening to some of Strictly Speaking with Bob France this morning, follow his Rumble show. The members are basically told, you will do this, and if you don't, they just ruin your ability to be productive or successful at anything. So you don't really have the option to say, no, thank you. I don't want to gavel in. I don't believe in it, and I don't want to do it. You're basically handicapped. You're taken out. I don't know. We got to get to the bottom of it all. Salty Goat says, why is John Thune stopping Trump from making recess appointments? Once again, he got 74 of 84, so they did bring in most of them, I think is accurate. That's my understanding. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. But Salty Goat asks, has any party ever completely blocked their own president from making recess appointments before now? Gunther says, John Thune is a traitor. Amuse puts this out. Hold on, let's watch the video.
I move to adjourn pursuant to the previous order.
U.S. Senate tomorrow gaveling into the first pro forma session of recess. They're on recess for 5 weeks. Amuse says it's obstruction. Senate leader John Thune isn't sending everyone home for 37 days. Every 3 to 4 days, one of his loyalists will hold a pro forma session to prevent Trump from making recess appointments. Once again, there's 10 remaining is my understanding. Trump is the only president to have his own party stop him from making recess appointments. Republicans have worked against President Trump and have done nothing to fix the holes in the back doors into our elections. Neither party wants it fixed. They work with Democrats to rig our elections against their voters and keep themselves in office. That's what the accusation is. That's why they're in on it. But Joe Lange says prosecution phase is incoming. Rest not, fear not, weary patriots. Todd Blanche has been confirmed as Attorney General. He's no longer the acting Attorney General. Joe Lange says that's important because now he can be called to testify before Congress in coordination with Republicans and give evidence that can be submitted on the record for the American people to see. That submitted evidence can also be used for future prosecutions. You can't tell the people, you have to show them. Understand the strategy and the order of what is happening. Everything is planned and timed. Why did Trump first choose Pam Bondi? It wasn't because Trump knows her and has a personal relationship. Not just because of that. Pam Bondi was the Florida AG all through the time that Jeff Sessions served as Attorney General for Trump. Anybody remember what Sessions did as AG? He launched not one but 2 secret investigations using special prosecutors, assisting Inspector General Horowitz. The first one was Huber, who was revealed in congressional testimony after he had already been investigated for many months. He was investigating many conspiracies involving the Clintons and the Obama administration's corruption. Joe continues, why did Sessions secretly engage Huber? Why did Sessions reveal Huber? Timing is everything. Huber handed off some of those investigations to Durham, who was also in the public realm and appointed by AG Barr to look into the framing of Trump for Russian collusion. Everyone assumes that both of these special prosecutors are no longer serving in any capacity behind the scenes. That's a mistake. I believe they have been assisting another secret prosecutor that Sessions appointed. Huh. Maybe, maybe not. Mr. Rosenstein still overseeing. What's this? Another secret prosecutor outside of D.C. just like Huber? Where? How about Florida? Who? How about U.S. Attorney General Jason A. Redding Quinones of the Southern District of Florida? This is ear to the rumor mill stuff here. So ear to the rumor mill from Joe Lange. The prosecutor in charge of the RICO conspiracy investigations looking into all kinds of corruption. The prosecutor who will usher in the prosecution phase. Why Florida? Two good reasons. Trump lives in Mar-a-Lago and can keep up to date on the investigations. It also helped keep the investigations under radar through his first term and while Biden was the president. Bondi was also the AG of Florida at the time, so Quinones could also keep her up to speed with the investigations, preparing her for appointment as Attorney General. Huh? Of Florida? Quinones became assistant attorney and for him or for her? Hold on. Before Sessions resigned, coincidence? Worked as national security advisor, active member of JEDICA, making a bridge between civilian and military investigations. Jason Quinones serves as senior legal advisor to the staff judge advocate for U.S. Central Command, U.S. CENTCOM, providing counsel on national security, combat operations, and intelligence matters. His dual role as a federal prosecutor and military judge advocate continues alongside his duties as U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. In conclusion, Joe says, I believe Jason Quinones is the other prosecutor outside of D.C. who's been assigned by Sessions with the same mandate and authority as Huber. I think he's been working on these investigations since 2018 alongside Huber and Durham. TikTok. All right. Well, that's the rumor mill. We shall see. This lady was fired by Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, so Democrats brought her in to testify against Blanche. But she wasn't expecting Eric Schmidt to go after her. Ouch.
I was called here to talk about Mr. Blanche's nomination.
Yeah, I know that's what
Attorney
you thought
General.
came here to talk about. But the reality is your credibility is gone. You can't come here and do the political bidding of the Biden administration. And then when you're called out on that and being fired, and thank God you're being fired. You know what I really think? I think you thought you came here and you're selling merch, by the way. Do we have the hoodies that are up for sale? You sell merch. Let's show the hoodies. I think you came here thinking that you were going to be ordained the high priestess of the resistance. That's what I think. That's why you're denying simple facts that you authored the memo commuting the sentences. Everyone knows that. And we have documents now from the White House that they use that memo as a PR stunt. And so the idea, you have no credibility to talk about Todd Blanche. You have none. You've come here, you deny basic facts, you recommended the commutation of murderers. You gave no quarter at all or any time to the victims.
That's on par for Democrats.
Of these brutal murders. So again, I can't believe you've been called here by the other side, but I'm glad we've had an opportunity to expose your hypocrisy.
All right. Well, Todd Blanche is in now. Jim Jordan congratulates AG Todd Blanche on being confirmed. DOJ is in good hands. Todd Blanche drops the hammer, but this is him acting Attorney General. But take a listen about the Epstein files.
Authority to go ahead and release more, do you not? And you have the authority to
go to Congress, perhaps?
No, we have released everything. So listen, we reviewed 6 million pieces of paper. What we released was anything associated with the Epstein files. So there, we are not sitting on a single piece of paper. Nothing that should be released. If we find something else tomorrow, we'll release it. I don't anticipate we will. So the misguided assumption that there is more to be released is because we reviewed millions and millions of pages within the department, millions of which had nothing to do with Epstein. So it's not as if we looked at a document and said, you know, we're not going to release that. If we didn't release it, it's because it was not responsive to the law and therefore not part of the Epstein files. What we've done with Congress is we by law, we had to make certain redactions, by law, including of victims and of PI information. But we said to Congress, any congressman can come in and spend as much time as they want looking at everything unredacted. And if you think we should be doing something, Congressman or Congresswoman, let us know and we will do it.
But it's there. They're saying they're not sitting on a single document. You could not believe that, but every member of Congress, full, unrestricted, unredacted access to the entire Epstein files. Everything released. You can believe that it wasn't released, but
and so we have
allegedly all there.
That I don't know how this department or this president can be more transparent than saying, American people, here's every single document in our entire database. And if we had to redact it because of victim names, anybody can come and look at it if you're a member of Congress. No restrictions, unredacted.
I want to squeeze in one more topic, and that is about.
Okay. We'll see if anything changes there. More Todd Blanche. About Comey. Will he finally go after Comey, Clapper, Brennan, and the rest? He doesn't look too happy. He looks kind of beat up. Looks a little beat up, if you're asking me. I don't know if this was from this weekend. Well, it still says acting attorney general, so we'll just use this for reference about Comey.
Part of what the government would have to prove is intent. James Comey deleted the post the same day, and he wrote, quote,
the 8647 post.
I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence. It never
Yeah, that's insane. Yes, you do.
occurred to me, but I oppose violence of any kind, so I took the post down. How do you prove intent, Mr. Blanche, when Mr. Comey himself said he didn't understand that some people would look at that?
Yeah, you can say I don't believe you.
And think about violence.
You prove intent like you always prove intent. You prove intent with witnesses. You prove intent with documents, with materials. So again, this is not just about a single Instagram post. This is
yeah, it's about a pattern, but I want more indictments than just Comey posting 8647 on seashells. You got the Clintons, you got the Obamas, you got the top of the top deep state Democrat actors, bad actors. The people who framed and respun what happened on January 6th, the people that aided and abetted what happened in 2020. Is this the best we can get as a seashell indictment? It's got to be more than that.
About a body of evidence that the grand jury collected over the series of about 11 months. That evidence was presented to the grand jury. And it's not the government, it's not the Department of Justice, it's not Todd Blanche that returned an indictment against James Comey. It's a grand jury.
Yeah, a grand jury did it. This wasn't him, and it wasn't Trump. Good question, Marion. If he didn't know the intent, why did he post it in the first place? I think it came along with like I think it came along with a tag that said, interesting shell formation. I don't know. It just looked like an interesting set of shells. I just happened to walk past it. I didn't create this for the image that I was about to take. I didn't know the blowback would be strong, so I just get to pretend it wasn't me doing it. Or someone else did it, and then I took a picture, and I pretend I didn't do it. I have plausible deniability. Yeah, why else would he post it?
Part of the judicial process, and that this process has to be allowed to play out in the courts. It's not fair to Mr. Comey. It's certainly not fair to the prosecutors for us to be airing your view or my view of this indictment. It's something that will be presented in court at the time set by the judge.
All right, Todd Blanche is in. What is this? Pat Adams says by voting to confirm Todd Blanche as the 88th Attorney General of the United States. Only 88? Senate Republicans delivered a major victory for President Trump, the American people, and the rule of law. Blanche will fulfill President Trump's mandate to make America safe again. Mike Davis talks about his latest Fox News piece. Mike Davis, Chuck Grassley's behind-the-scenes work proved decisive in the Todd Blanche confirmation fight. Okay, Chuck Grassley helped get it done. Gunther says this vacation will go down in history as the vacation that ended leader John Thune's career in politics. Based Senator Mike Lee says all year long we heard we'll have to get to the we'll get to the Save America Act when we have time, realizing it would likely take a few weeks. We waited patiently while fully funding DHS and addressing other priorities, expecting to return to it when time allowed. It's now August, and we've already taken more recess weeks this year than I can count. There are 21 weeks remaining in 2026, and approximately 14 of them will be spent with the Senate in recess. Why? These few weeks in August offer what could be the perfect chance to return to the Save America Act and debate the bill until it passes. We should be doing precisely that. Frankly, we should have done it months ago. That's why I objected to recess and voted against it. Unfortunately, I and those who joined me in opposing it were far outnumbered, with all Democrats and most Republicans preferring to take yet another lengthy recess, this time until September 14. Lost opportunity. It's so intentional. It's so intentional. Jules Jones says they built a loophole to stop a president from doing his job. It's called a pro forma session. One senator gavels in, then gavels out. No debate, no votes, no one else even there. That's the loophole blocking Trump's recess appointments. First one Monday, August 10 at 10 a.m. I guess that happened 4 hours ago, maybe? 5 weeks of recess. There will be nearly 12 pro forma sessions until recess is over, says Eric Daughtry. Mike Lee and Rick Scott are still relentlessly pushing the Save America Act, so our elections are secured for years to come. Don't ever back down, Patriots. Remember, 2028 is coming too. This has to become law. We need secure elections forever. Get her done. Get it done. Does John Thune really get a Liberty score of 51 in F? Gunther says it's time to fire him because he plays for the other team. Rick Scott says, hey, despite recess, let's get it done anyway.
Open in the next month, everybody calls, every Republican, Democrat senator and say, we've got to get this done. I'm not giving up. I know Mike Lee's not giving up. Ron Johnson's not giving up. So we're going to figure out how to get this done. Open.
Well, good. Get it done. Gunther says, whoever steps up to primary leader Thune, let me know. I want to help. He's a traitor and needs to go. Eric Daughtry says Elon is surging funding to repeal ranked choice voting in Alaska, which is a scam system of voting that's supported by Lisa Murkowski, Republican, air quotes, from Alaska. Scott Pressler vehemently campaigning against ranked choice voting as well. That's how California got 2 Democrats instead of a Republican alternative, urging everyone to vote yes on ballot measure 2. Current donation is $1.5 million per Anchorage Daily News to defeat ranked choice voting. Good. California should have a Republican option, not 2 Democrats. COVID. We knew by early 2020 asymptomatic spread was not a thing. Dr. Maria Van Kerkhove. Media ignored it and then attacked her for saying it. WHO press conference, one of the most important inflection points in the entire COVID response. Go ahead and watch it. It's 2 minutes here. Adam Carolla says we got played. Dr. Deborah Birx
had already had COVID.
But there are some that
coronavirus pundits who were often.
Anyway, I'm not going to get into that topic. We're going to wrap up today's show here in a second. But watch this 5-minute clip. Watch this 2-minute clip. I mean, I'm just getting a little. It's important for the record. We can't forget it. Here's Mike Rowe talking with Bill Maher.
Well, there's 7 million men, able-bodied men, mostly young, who are what they call NILF. NILF is not
the labor force.
In the labor force. This is different than unemployed. Unemployment means you're looking, but you can't find a job. This is not looking.
The guy who should
not looking.
The guy who should be sitting here to have that conversation with you is called Nick Eberstadt, and he wrote.
I don't know Nick Everstad. I'm sure he'll tell me who that is. The labor market is very weird. Very weird. That much is true. Mike Rowe and his Mike Rowe Works program, it's pretty great getting people trained up and trying to get America employed.
Wrote a book called Men Without Work. He published it in 2005 originally, and then again during the pandemic, because everything he predicted happened. That exact number right now, it's like 6,990,000 able-bodied men, not only not working, not looking. That's never happened in our country, not in peacetime.
Why aren't
That's a strange position to find yourself in.
they looking? I think it's because the porn is too good.
The porn is excellent, but
I mean, that's a joke, but like, you kind of give people their slop, and it gives you, normally, well, young men are often in the dating realm, which is similar to a commission-only sales job. You get a commission if you seal the deal. You get some release, you get some satisfaction if you're able to go out and meet somebody fantastic and things are fantastic and you have a fantastic evening together or something. But with virtual reality, AI, nonstop porn, anything you could imagine, you're 2 clicks away. Like, it's all everything at your fingertips. You're hungry, you do a DoorDash. That go get it instinct. I'm going to go close a deal. I'm going to go out and meet somebody great, and I'm going to wow them with, I'll peacock my awesomeness, and someone will see that and appreciate that. And I'll earn something. I'm going to go out and earn it. Now, there's something to this generation that doesn't have the same gravity, the magnetism toward that closing the deal. It's sort of like middlemen to recreate. Instead of having sex yourself, why not just watch somebody else do it? You could sort of recreate it instead of cooking a great meal. I don't know. I could just order it and somebody will be there. I could go get the ingredients to the sandwich, but I don't want to do all that. I can just press this and it's a $24 submarine sandwich with a bag of chips and a drink and make it $42 by the time they add their delivery fees. That ain't it. Things have changed.
It takes away the motivation. You have to be motivated. You have to, I got to get a job to get a girl.
Yeah.
So there's no get a job to get a girl. And what do they always say about communism, socialism, Marxism? Yeah, all you do is then to each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Okay. So everybody does the bare minimum just so they don't get smacked down. But they will not grow taller. They will not succeed. They will not do better because all that happens is they're rewarded with more work for less pay. They don't get to achieve, so nobody tries to break out of that mold. You start to completely disable motivation. There's no motivation if you don't do better. If you do better in football and score more touchdowns, then you'll get paid better. And so you're going to work harder to achieve better, to get paid better, to get paid better. You lose the motivation loop in communist, socialist, Marxist society. Islamist, globalist, the whole blending of these not so similar, super similar ideologies. It's just like, this is the way things are. That's it. And there's just no way around it. And it doesn't encourage innovation or achievement.
Now they don't want a girl because they sit home and
take matters into their own hands.
They do.
Come on. I mean,
all right.
Come on.
The micro is funny. But yeah. And you heard that spoken about in Springfield, Ohio, the factory owners or the managers. We can't find Ohioans to work these jobs. We need to import Somalis. We need to import Haitians. We need to import Sudanese is Gesundheit. Why can't you hire Ohioans to work Ohio jobs? This doesn't make any sense. And if the problem is the jobs aren't paying enough, then you need to pay what the wage will be. You don't just import slave labor. Oh, and then, by the way, make a whole bunch of them eligible to vote according to New Jersey. But they totally caught it. But they only mentioned 1 year, not the past 29 years of maybe this happening. And who knows how many are on these voter rolls, and who knows how insecure our elections are. And it's a good thing we didn't pass the Save America Act while we had a chance. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's something to that. So why are the Democrat Socialists of America gaining seats? Well, it's a lot of people looking, and they're convinced. It's the politics of envy and greed and jealousy. It is. And there are legitimate structural problems with what's going on right now. Inflation, overspending, yeah, huge. Indoctrination, lies, and mental anguish being caused. I mean, it's intentional mental abuse that's been perpetrated on the American people by the American left, hands down. Shame, jealousy, anger, rage, all of these core emotions being pumped into kids by their teachers and the teachers' unions and the lying legacy media and the Democrat politicians, and it all just bounces in their echo chamber, and it scrambles the brains of people. We need to find a way to bring some people back from the brink. We really do. But I think for now, that is the brink of my program. Thank you all in chat. Hello, Hizzy70. What's up, Joker Poker? Saying, if you want a woman in real life, you gotta have money. Full stop, no question. I mean, hey, you know, there's a lot of people that have just thrown their hands up, and it's not worth it. All these young liberal women just not interested. They don't want to have families. They want to be angry. They've been indoctrinated to see the world through a lens where it's like, I don't really want to hang out with these people. This is what a lot of young men say. I don't know. Is it different than it always has been? Maybe, maybe not. Is it worse now than it ever has been? Is it just more obvious now? Or is it quicker now? I don't know. Some people say there's a massively warped perception of reality, really. That a lot of women out there think that they're 9s and 10s and they're 3s and 4s. Won't date a man unless he's above 6 feet and a millionaire. That's it. That's a starting point. And when you look at the percentage of American men that are above 6 feet tall and millionaires, I mean, you're talking about a handful of people. You know, you're talking about a very select group. But when 95% of the women think that they're in that 9 and 10 elite dating range, they don't settle for meeting a normal person and having a normal life. They have fantasy book scenarios right there, right at the forefront. That's my fantasy scenario. I won't settle for anything else. And then they blink and decades pass, and then, you know, were they always bitter and angry and mean about potentially partnering up? Or does that only come with age? Or is that just fresh out of high school, you're the angriest and it just stays with you and then it wanes? Then you have regret? I don't know. So yeah, it's an ongoing conversation, the motivation of the youth of America and how we're being taught. Yes, Rob, we're having lunch, checking out Brian's news here in chat. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, I am clocking out for the day. My lunch shift is over. I've been bartending, working off tips. So if anybody wants to toss something into our Rumble rant or Super Chat tip jar, please go on Rumble or YouTube and do that. You can go on Rumble or YouTube or Patreon and become a monthly subscriber. If you want to toss something in on Venmo or Cash App, it's my name, @Brian Engelman, spelled at the bottom of the screen scrolling. And PayPal is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com, spelled out below. We'll plan on being back again tomorrow at noon covering the news. Yeah, I got to kind of dig into the eclipse and the asteroid. What's that all about? Interesting about that. Everybody hit subscribe, especially Hizzy. That's the first time I've seen you in chats. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell. Everybody, please follow our Instagram page, The New American Media. Hit up our podcast. It's called The Agree to Disagree Show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, whatever you call it. Play, Google Play, I don't know, whatever it is. Find it, The Agree to Disagree Show. Follow us on X at American_media_, Twitch and Kick streams as well. Yeah. What else do I want to tell? We're on Locals. I don't do a lot on Locals. We're on Truth Social, The New American Media. Facebook page of The New American Media. We're in a lot of places. And tomorrow, I hope we look at all those places. We can invite some more people in. Let's all try to bring a friend tomorrow. Try to share the show on X. Grab a copy of this show, hit the arrow button, and share it onto your X account, and then tag us at American_media_. Then we'll reshare your share. We'll pump your account up as you pump our account up. But we're trying to cross-post on these to get some organic growth going. And it's your support that'll get that done. Word of mouth, you know? So, thank you very much for being here. Oh, that's good. Hizzy says, I've actually been subscribed for a long time. Haven't shown up in my notifications, not one time. I have all notifications active too. I don't know. Maybe try unfollowing notifications to our channel and then resetting it, refreshing the browser, then following for notifications. Maybe that'll change the algorithm in a reset. Kind of like how today we weren't streaming on Facebook. I was notified. I had to go in, I had to switch from my personal profile to the company profile, had to hit refresh on the page, and then it showed the box that was streaming live, and then it might have activated it and needed to be recognized or reset or refreshed. Maybe try that, but yeah. Hizzy, you were making so much sense here. It's this type of stuff. He's been subscribed for a long time, he says. And we got 6,500 subscribers on YouTube. Millions of views. But for how long do people haven't seen any of our stuff? They don't know that we're making new content. We've done 1,900 videos over 15 years. Because YouTube, Google will censor and shadow ban and demonetize and try to make sure that I don't get a chance to unpack the news in a way that I think today was pretty fair. I think we connected some dots. I think we highlighted some important stories. We called out some bullshit. We had a good time. But yeah, we've never popped up in your notifications, but you're following us. That's insane. And your notifications are active too. Yeah, try to unactivate them and reactivate them and let me know if that changes anything. Hizzy says, I'll give that a try. Well, I appreciate that. Hope to see you back here tomorrow at noon. But yeah, that type of censorship is why we say, you know, relaunching our daily show, or, you know, it used to be called the Agree to Disagree Show, and I morphed it into the TNAM Daily Show. The Agree to Disagree Show will be our sit-down interviews with guests, long-form guest conversations, which I do hope to get back to sometime soon. But there's just been so much news to dig through. I need that time to sift through the news. And I could do that with a guest. I just, to everything, there's a season. And I've really been trying to make sure that I'm locking and loading on this one consistently to show advertisers, to show subscribers, you know, regulars, that we're going to keep doing this and that you can know what to expect. We're consistent. We're reliable. We've never once been pressured to lie to you about anything. But yeah, it's been an uphill battle trying to grow. Instagram has gotten us to 997, 998 subscribers, I think. And then they took 10 people away. Right before I hit the 1,000 so I could live stream this show on Instagram, they deleted 10 followers. Then the next day they deleted 10 followers. Then the next day they deleted 10 followers in a row. Totally coincidental, totally random. No, very targeted. It's suppression of our ability to earn a living on social media. They're still messing with us. And that's why it's more important than ever that if you see some content that you like out there, consider becoming a sponsor, a donor, in any way that you can, or just a hype person. Try to share our content and bring more people in to the bar for tomorrow's show. Hizzy says, I understood the grind. I understand the grind. I've been there before. Yeah. Oh, Joker Poker agrees. It shows up on my Joker phone, but it doesn't show up on my personal phone. But I'm subbed on both. I can get it manually on my personal phone, but it works good on a Joker phone. It's nuts. And it's sort of been nuts for me to try to continue to build an empire this way, knowing that the game is so stacked against me. But I believe we do something well. I believe that people enjoy this show, and more people would enjoy it if they were ever exposed to it or ever saw it a second time. And we are definitely on the naughty list because of the subject matter that we cover, because we tell a lot of truth. We cut very close to the bone. We shoot straight from the hip. You know, we'll try to gussy some stuff up. We'll try to, you know, we'll try to polish some stuff up from time to time. Not everything is best served, you know. Not everything is best served blunt, but we never shy away from reality. We do our best to keep it real. And the people that like it, you know, I think there's something here. But we're ready to grow. We are ready to grow. But both of you saying that you never see our stuff and you got notifications turned on, it won't show. I go, I know. Yet I keep showing up every day, believing that I should be one of the news sources that helps inform America, helps America work some of these issues out. We had some tough stories today. Every day there's some tough stories, you know. Ortho drops in to say hello and he can't stay. Well, that's fine because we're headed out the door. Ortho always gives us one catchphrase of the day. I'm sure he'll do it right before we leave. Ortho catchphrase. Got to get your catchphrase in. But yeah, we're ducking out as well. Waiting for the comment. We know what it is. He's got a catchphrase. And as soon as he types it, I know it's on a bit of a wait here. I was thinking we need to put this on some merch. Speaking of which, once again, if anybody wants to order some merch to support the program, all 4 of these, the mug, the pin, the 8 wooden Ohio-made The Unhappy Hour Sports Show coasters, $100 donation on Venmo. Send your address, and I'll send you all 4 of those. There it is, Ortho. Never leave your cave without your club. That's something we're going to have to put on mugs or hats or shirts or something. It's worked its way into a regular phrase said on this program all the time. Because, look, we got to look out for one another. And you got to train. Training is good. I trained last week, and I can train again. Having a guitar in your closet doesn't make you a musician. Having a tool somewhere around at some various stage of disrepair doesn't make you ready to protect your family. So be prepared to carry and protect your family. Train, okay? All right. So for now, signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe, I appreciate you. I love you. And we will see you again tomorrow at noon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.